Thought I'd real quick show what my intent is here. I'm gonna drop each connector. There's a lock on the bottom. You use a flathead screwdriver to pop the lock. And then there's a lock on the top that you're supposed to try and disengage using a very small screwdriver, or I bought a $75 tool that's supposed to do it, but it was so fragile I broke it on the third pin, so I just went and made another one on the belt sander out of a little screwdriver. You stick it in the larger hole of the two holes, and you're supposed to be able to unlatch it. I'm generally unsuccessful, but it's just held against a little piece of plastic. You can pop it out pretty easy. It doesn't lock so great going in without the bottom lock, but once you put the gate closed, it holds well. So I'm going to depin them. I've got these heat shrink labels. I'm going to label each one. And then once I get them all depinned, the ones that I don't need are coming out. The ones that I'm keeping, I'll take the time to route nice and neatly and get them organized, and then I'll repin everything. Depinned and labeled. Now I gotta try and straighten it up so I can put it all back together. Took me about 2 hours to depin everything. Let's see how long it takes to straighten it up. Time lapse I'll actually put in the video, but that was 6 hours worth of work. It looks a whole lot better, but I don't know if it looks 6 hours better. But I think it's the best I can do without ordering new pins that I can cut to length and crimp a new pin on without trimming the wire. I think this is the least amount of rat's nesting I'm going to get. At least nothing's knotted together and spiraled around each other and twisted up. It's certainly a lot cleaner than it was, even if it's not what I'd love it to be. So now for the moment of the truth is put the battery disconnect back and see if I let any smoke out, and if I don't, then hit the start button and see if it'll start. I double checked every connector before I zip tied it, and everything looks good. I just hope that everything's in far enough to make a good connection. That 6 hours of work is now 9 hours of work. I put the battery disconnect on and hit the button, and it came to life, but most of my sensors were reading poor. I was reading minus 40 degrees on coolant and infinity on oxygen and things like that. So I had to revisit what was going on. And at the very end of the last clip, I made a comment that I hoped everything was seated well enough to make a connection. That's because I had a real hard time pushing the pins in, and I assumed that was because when I took the pins out, I had bent the latch. It turns out I'm a complete idiot, and I was put every pin in upside down. And so I had to depin every one of the pins, flip them over, and put them back in. And they went in way easier, and the gates closed nice and cleanly now. So I then put the disconnect back on and hit the button, and everything was beautiful. It's not running right now because you can't hear me talking if it's running, but all the values came up properly. Everything on the gauge was working. So I'm going to call that done. Well, not done. I have to get in there and put some more zip ties on it and finish putting the loom on it, but the depinning and repinning is done. So I'm going to finish getting that cleaned up and get some more loom on it, and then decide what I'm going to do next. My new shifter should be here today. I may work on that. If not, I'm probably going to work on the other ECU, the 2004 ECU, and the swap harness, so that I can try and get rid of my immobilizer. I don't want to do the dash until I get the heater wiring finished, and I still don't have the main harness that I need from Resto Mod Air. I'm not too sure when that's going to show up. If it doesn't show up today, I'll call them on Monday.